This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Throughout the nation and around the globe, from his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live on the radio, here on the Contact Talk Radio Network, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dear James Live. Express yourself, tell it like it is, and then hear what Dear James has to say. And today is all about reflections, a year in review. And what that means, if you've been following along, if this is the first time you've been listening to the show, or you've been listening since the beginning, a year ago, 2 days from now, February 6th, was the inaugural launch of Dear James Live on the Contact Talk Radio Network. And to celebrate that anniversary, I wanted to take a look back. I wanted to reflect on everywhere we have been together, and where we're going, what's going to happen in the years to come. So it was an amazing feat to come on live onto the radio and everything. And so I wanted to take a look back. I wanted to kind of stroll memory lane, if you will, with the important focal point of what's it been all about and where are we going, what have we learned, and even more importantly, to hear from you all. What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you love and that you want to hear more about? Those types of things. Because the show is always, always, always about you. It's about you, the callers. It's about you, the listener, to bring you quality content, quality wellness content, to place you in a mindset where you can be and do and achieve anything. Because that's what this is all about. So Dear James is about you. So I'm going to remind you at the top of the hour, the phone lines are open. We are taking your calls live today, 877-230-3062. As I have coined the phrase, have the courage to call in live. It's fun. You never know what the universe is going to tell you. It doesn't need to be on topic. And I have learned so much from all of you calling in. It's always a lesson. Every time I read for somebody. And speaking of that, I had someone say that they listened to the show and they didn't realize that they could have a one-on-one private intuitive consultation with me. So I wanted to let you know, yes, that is available. You can go to www.DearJames.com and click on consultation and read all about what's involved and then how to go out scheduling one. So by all means, if you are interested in a private consultation with me, go to www.DearJames.com and click on consultation, and we will do a private consultation. But in that, let's jump into the story of how Dear James came to be, if you will. And from this perspective, again, about you. This was the way in which I could reach a broader audience. To be able to come on live and to speak with you all live was my passion. And I looked at this and I said, the more people I can help, the more that I can spread the word, if you will, then the greater the ability, the greater the offer, and certainly the greater the reward, because it's a true honor and privilege to read for all of you and to speak with you each week. All of you listening in, it becomes a family, and you look at this and you say, this is how you change the world, each of you. You each change the world every time you listen in, every time you have a new thought or a new awareness. And it's just such a beautiful gift. And so, February 6th, 2014 was a crazy day. I mean, it was a crazy day. I was incredibly nervous to come on the air. And I remember if you listen to that first episode, I was like, ooh, I think I need to take a breath here because I really literally thought I was going to pass out. But I was so nervous. And a year later, it feels like this glove that I have worn, this really favorite glove that you just put on each week and you say, oh, yeah, that feels so good. And you know it. And so there's a beauty in that. But I wanted to walk us through if you will, kind of where we started there. And looking at 2014, and as I told you back then, throughout the year of 2014, that it was really a year that was going to show us, it was going to keep presenting things that we needed to deal with. And they weren't going to be finished, if you will, until we had kind of dealt with them and looked at them and everything. And 2015 then kind of comes into this amazing year of expansion. So 2014 was a tough year. It was a challenging year. It was a growing year, a learning year. The launch of the show, the loss of my father, things that happened that were epic changes of bringing me out more and more and more into the public and so forth. And with that, you all came along for the ride. That was a tremendous gift. And as we look at this, when you look at 2014 and 2015 and 2016, I'm kind of doing this elongated look at where have we been, where are we, and where are we going? And for all of you, again, 2014, if you ask most people, they'll say to you, 2014 was a tough year. It was challenging. It kind of made some of the other years where we were in the midst of the meltdown, the financial meltdown and all of that stuff. And, we had been coming out of it from 07, 08, 09, and 10. And 14 came along and everybody was expecting this really great, hurrah, it's here. And what happened was 2014 was that kind of finale of all of that. It was like that 7-year cycle of, okay, we're going to put a period on the end of this, this decline and this renewal, kind of death and rebirth. And that's why 2015 is the first year, if you will, of that rebirth. It's this expansion. So for me, I don't know about you all, but for me, 2014 kicked my butt. It was it was great in ways. It was incredibly challenging in ways. And I think when we each kind of pause and reflect, and that's today's show, Reflections, there's a gift, there's a beauty in reflecting, in looking back. You're not meant to stay there. You're not meant to, live in the past. You're meant to reflect on it and then understand, discern its pearls of wisdom. What did it give you? What lessons did you learn? What challenges did you face and overcome? What were the hardships? What are you still holding on to? By looking back, you can then move forward, because you take that, you look back, you look at it, and you go, okay, I got it, and now release it. Come into your new year, and 2015 is that new year. We're a month in, and something about the energy, and I don't know if you all are noticing this, but it's already February 4th. I mean, it's as if we blinked and an entire month is already gone. So the energy has sped up, and lots of people are saying, I can't catch my breath. It's like I'm constantly going. Everything seems to be moving at such a faster pace. And that's the interesting thing of the new energy that's arrived. It's a whole new ball game. 2015 and beyond. I kind of call it 2016 and beyond, really, because 2015 is your prep year. This is your renewal year. It's the beginning of your renewal. It's your expansion. It's going to be very expansive. It's going to happen very rapidly. And you're going to feel like you're constantly out of breath, which almost feels like kind of a repeat of 14, except the difference is 2015 has abundance written all over it. It's the number 8. 2015 is an 8 year. And so look to this year for expansion, for like really positive growth. As you come into 2016, which is a 9 year, in numerology, it's a 9 year, typically a completion year. But the interesting thing about this is that 2016 is kind of the opening of the gate. It all finally starts to culminate and really come out. So 2015 is this prep year. 2016 is you're up, out, and ready. and 27, it's kind of 2016 and beyond, 2017, 2018, and so forth, all of this whole growth and abundance, this manifestation of everything that you've been letting go of, everything that you're creating, all the fear you've faced, all of that stuff changes. The old ways don't work anymore. And the more and more and more you hold on to the old ways, the more and more challenging the universe is going to be with you, because it's a new ball game, and there's no other way to put it. It's a new day, it's a new ball game, and the energy dictates that you let go of the old ways, embrace the new. There's a new you. And if you've been listening over the year, it's all about leading with your soul. We, up until this point, through 2014, we have led with our personalities, our identities, our minds. And it's been this journey of, we know better. I know better. I can control this. I can control my environment. I can, make these things happen. And we do it from a place of our mind. And that game is over. It's all about leading with the soul. It is your soul source connection, and it's the universe saying, bravo, you all did it your way. There's that song playing in my head, I did it my way. And now they're saying it, and now it's our turn. And they're going to be turning up the volume on your soul leading. You're going to have to listen to your soul, lead with your soul. Because 2016 and beyond, ego, fear, all that stuff, bye-bye. It's out of here. It's not going to work. And it's going to become so apparent. You see this in world events where what appear to be, and yes, they're tragic, negative events are happening throughout the world, but what you're going to see is how that stirs within humanity, all of us, this awakening, this we want peace, we want better, we want more. And more, not from identity, but more from collective consciousness, humanity. There's going to be this massive shift. And the shift is going to be in our identities. Literally, we're going to go from mind, body, soul to soul, body, mind. It's going to switch. And so, in looking back at this last year, this reflection of Dear James Live coming to you, beginning February 6th of 2014, it's this renewal time. It's this place of trying to prepare everyone for that journey. And that's what's taking place. And so as we get looking at this whole thing, as we get into the meat of what's happened over the course of the year and how you all have played such a crucial role. Again, I'm just overly humbled and appreciative for every person that's ever called in and for every person that's listened and for every person that's been on the show, because each of you are making that change. You are tuning in not only to Dear James Live, but to any piece of wellness. You're tuning in because you can feel it. You feel the change. You feel the desire within yourselves. And you're to be applauded for that. And I, implore you to keep striving for all of that wellness and that goodness and keep putting it out there. We're going to talk about a lot more of this as we continue the hour. But you're listening to Dear James Live. Express yourself. Tell it like it is. And then hear what Dear James has to say. And just a reminder, we are taking your calls live today, 877-230-3062. If you've got a question, if you've got a pressing matter, if you're stuck, if something's, you're just not okay with something, or if this is resonating with you, but you're not sure how to go forward, call in, have the courage to call in live. We'll be right back after this station break.
desire to be more consciously enlightened is innate. Do you feel there's more to life? If so, find the resource that's right for you by going to DearJames.com/resources. You are the reality you create. Make it a great one. When you ask a question, the universe hears you, and in a multitude of ways, they seek to communicate with you to provide the intuitive insight, answers, and advice you seek. From serious to silly, monumental to mundane, there's nothing the universe can't cover. Maybe the insight you receive is exactly the affirmation you were looking for. Then again, it may just give you a whole new perspective on things, and that's the beauty of the universe. Submit your question to Dear James at DearJames.com and click Ask.
The gift of giving is immeasurable. Give of your time, talent, resources, and money. Give not only because you can, but because by doing so, it is already coming back to you. As a people, we are only as strong as the least among us. Together, we harness the power of the collective whole and see through our deeds the power of miracles, both large and small. Find the charity that's right for you by visiting www.DearJames.com and click on Charitable Giving. One person or kind act really does make the difference.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dear James Live. Express yourself, tell it like it is, and then hear what Dear James has to say. Today is Reflections, a year in review. Taking your calls live, talking about what is going on, what has happened in the past year, and where we are headed. Again, telephone number 877-230-3062. So express yourself. You know, I want to come into the explanation or explain why. Express yourself. The universe came to me, and it was this whole thing of people want to be heard. They need an outlet. They need a voice. And, you know, we saw that play out over and over and over again over the past few years. And so express yourself, tell it like it is, and then hear what Dear James has to say, was just this brilliant piece on behalf of the universe to say, express yourself. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what's happening, and we'll impart the wisdom. They are constantly looking to communicate with us, to each and every one of us. And I say to you always, listen and look for the signs. They are everywhere, from the simplest thing of, you know, numbers or decals on a bumper stickers on a car. You know, when my father passed, I live in Los Angeles, and when my father passed, you say he was, but he's a Marine. And I've lived here many, 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 many years. And the interesting thing was, he passes, and within the months following his passing, the Marine Corps emblem decals started appearing everywhere, on cars, on just random places. And I kept saying, you know, hello, Papa, thank you. Because they're signs. I was standing in the line at a valet to pick up my car, and the gentleman in front of me, tattooed on his tricep, was USMC. So these are examples of the way that Spirit and the universe are communicating with us, and they're doing it daily. So express yourself is about expressing yourself. Tell it like it is. Tell us what's going on. And or in your meditations, listen. In your prayers, listen. Speak and say what's on your mind. Express yourself, but then be willing. The second half of that act is to be willing to open yourself up to their answer, their reply. Sometimes they're loud. I mean, we talk about when we're not listening, you know, they start out with the whisper, then they kind of get to a little nudge, then the flashing lights, and then they get out the 2x4. The universe is constantly communicating with us. So in that, listen, participate, engage them. A dear friend has this beautiful saying, when you're praying, you're speaking to God and the universe. When you're meditating, you're listening. And so there's a beauty in that statement that it's a two-way conversation. We have to be receptive and listening. Otherwise, we're missing the entire, second act. We're missing their signs, their reassurances, their affirmations. So be on the lookout for them. When you express yourself, also be in receptive mode of listening. I started Dear James a year ago, as I said, with the Power Of series. And it's one of those, it's foundational. It's the 5 foundational life elements, as I said, and back then. And if you think of a 5-point star, the power of, it was all about that you stand on the foundation of surrender and gratitude. So the power of surrender and the power of gratitude. And as you move yourself up onto what I call the wings of the star, you're embracing life from the power of permission and the power of forgiveness. And leading the star is always your intentions. And that series, and eventually it will be coming out as a book under Dear James, it's the power of, there are so many, the power of prayer, the power of meditation, the power of enthusiasm, the power of now, the power of faith, and the power of love. And ultimately, all of this, and this is the interesting thing, I'm going to tie this back right now, 2016 and beyond is all about love. And I know we've heard that, and you've heard that for years. Oh, it's all about love, 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 love. This time it's real. This time it's foundational. It's the focal point. It's all about love. And I don't mean like mushy-gushy and all that good stuff. I'm talking about self-love. I'm talking about love of humanity, love of the earth, love for your fellow man, love for all. It's foundational. And once we start realizing, you can say to yourself, I am love. And I did that. I heard that, and I think we talked about that on a show somewhere during the year. When you say to yourself, I am love, all of a sudden you have this very strange epiphany of, oh, I am love. We're constantly thinking that it's extraneous of us. It's something that we seek from others. It's something that we give to others. But we think of it separate from ourselves. And so something that really hit me this past year, and that's obviously going to be playing out in the 2016 and beyond, is the understanding, this culmination and this way of operating that's going to be, I am love. And once we see ourselves synonymous with it, that we are one with it, that we are it, everything within us is going to change. Because it's going to be this understanding of, when we seek this world peace, this love, just this beauty in life, and we seek it from a place of, I am love, everything changes. It just foundationally changes. And so the Power Of series, these 5 foundational life elements that you live by, surrender, gratitude, forgiveness, permission, intention, they're all to reach the pinnacle, which is love. Because when I operate from that place, that's what's going to happen. There was an interesting thing when we did this series in the beginning, was the power of gratitude. And I remembered how struck I was by the fact that people were uncomfortable with sharing their gratitude. They thought they might be boasting, or they might look like they're bragging, or there was a disconnect on gratitude. Gratitude stands at the foundation of your 5 life elemental star, period. If you're not coming from a place of gratitude, even in the toughest of times, if you're not coming from a place of gratitude, then you're going to be on a shaky foundation. So keep that in mind when you go to express yourself. What's the pearl? What's the gift? What's the wisdom in it? Because it's all divinely planned and inspired. And if we believe that, then we know that everything is coming from a place of love, and thereby there must be a gift, and thereby there must be gratitude in it. So the Power Of series was really powerful for me and transformational for me, because it sets the tone for every day. And when I'm just like everyone else. I'm learning with all of you. I learn, I teach, and it's an interesting thing. When I have a bad day, I go to the Power Of series. Where am I on my star, on these 5 foundational life elements? And that corrects me. It's a self-correcting benchmark, barometer that kind of keeps me in line and moves me in the right direction, knowing that at the head of it is my intention, constantly at the head of this pinnacle. It sets the tone. So look at the Power Of series. We're going to cover more of that in the coming year as it evolves and blossoms, because without these foundational elements, we're adrift, and we don't want to be adrift. So let me, when we're looking at this, I want to talk to I hesitated for a minute, because I'm also looking at the fact that with these other elements, love, faith, now, prayer, meditation, enthusiasm, the list goes on in the power of these words and the power of their actions and the power of their intent. So as we're moving forward, keep in mind to look at these words differently, or look at them for the first time. Because some people, we hear a word, but, we're just glazed over. We're not looking at what's the intention behind the word. What's the power behind the word? And as we've said throughout the year, your words matter. Your thoughts matter, because they drive your intentions. Your intentions are driving everything else. So let us look at that and go with that entire belief system that the Power Of series is foundational. If you haven't heard it, please go back and listen to the first 5-6 shows. They were really great and amazing in how to utilize these tools. I want to go to my first caller, and I'm gonna try to pronounce your name right, but I'm sorry. Is it Gitty or Gitty?
Gitty.
Gitty.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how are you? Welcome.
Very good, thank you. James, I have a question. See, my mom was sick, and I went to visit her, and I took care of her. So many challenges happened to me, and I tried to be strong and everything. And when I came back, my siblings were so, supportive of me and everything. All of a sudden, everything turned, and, they are not talking to me. They are very unkind to me. And it's like I get punished for what I did. Number one. Number two is that my work is very slow, and I don't know how to pick up my work. I'm very hesitant to get clients, and I had this goal to have growth in my business. It has been such a long time, and I wasn't ever able to reach that goal, and because of hesitancy that I have in myself.
Well, some of the things that I'm getting right off the bat, there was an interesting thing where there's a dynamic with your siblings playing out. There's the words that's coming to me is there's a jealousy factor here, meaning, and jealousy in the fact that they feel bad about themselves. It's as if because you went and took care of things with your mother and for the whole, while they appreciated that in the moment, or in a moment, it's like in a flash, they've also then come to realize that somehow then you're superior to them, if you will.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like there's
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so they're
Absolutely.
left right. So they're left with this. The term that's coming to me is this love-hate of, we appreciate it, but now our lack of involvement, our lack of empathy and compassion, our lack of doing what she did is kind of coming home to roost. You see what I mean? It's making them feel bad about themselves. And the only way in which they feel better is to lash out at you.
Okay.
It's to tear you down, because then you won't be so superior. And it's not that you've done something. You just were. You did exactly what was innate in you.
Okay.
But it wasn't innate in them to do the same heavy lifting. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
And so they're looking for you to, if we think about plateaus or plates in the air, you naturally resonate at a higher plateau. Doesn't mean that you're, better or worse. It just means we're all different.
Yes, yeah.
But for them, they're looking at it and saying, she sits on high. Oh, look at her. Oh, she's the one that does it all. Oh, she did it all.
Okay.
And so they reach up and try to pull you down because they see what you did naturally. And it wasn't within them to do it as well. You see this?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So the way forward with that is to not, don't step down.
Okay.
You want to keep resonating in the most beautiful, kind way, from, no judgment, but you want to be able to say, it's okay, I see you. It's not easy, it's painful, it hurts. But if you are able to stay on your plateau, because everything is about ascension, so you want to continue to move upward. You don't want somebody to reach up and grab you and have you willingly step down. You see what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
So that's what's kind of taking place with the family. You're going to need to give it some time. We'll talk more about this in the private consultation that you're going to get, but just give it some time without, don't tumble and fall downward. Stay at your plateau. Stay at peace with everything that you did, and just continue to love them, whether they demonstrate that love right now back to you.
Okay.
And that will move, it will move them forward in ways, because at some point they have to come to terms with themselves. And by you just continuing to love them and continuing to resonate at your own level, over time they will. Oh. They're gonna need a little time.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. It makes
right. Yeah. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah, because I have done a lot in such a short period of time, and then it's exactly how it is. Everybody is so picky on me, and then you rushed, and no, it was good, but it's just they conflicting themselves, and I started to go on my own, pleasing mood again to please them. At the same time that I thought I didn't do anything wrong, and if I have another chance again, I would do the same. But all of a sudden, and it's not like that in my family. Everybody just turned around and become so critical of me and some sort of mean. It's not nice to say that, but the way that I got treated. I felt that it wasn't so nice.
Right, exactly, because that's exactly that's exactly what happens is in that dynamic, when people don't feel like they're stepping up or they know they're not stepping up, they then look to try to tear you down to feel better about themselves. And all you did was do what they didn't do. So they have to, you have to don't become the lesson, transcend it, i.e. don't fall off your plateau. Just keep resonating and being kind and loving and doing what you're doing, and let them come to a place of, maybe she didn't do these things. It was because you're a mirror. Don't forget, you're standing in front of them, just being yourself. And all of a sudden they're seeing what they're not. That's not your fault. That's their lesson. They could have easily stepped up as well to assist you or to assist your mother. But they didn't. So that's the dynamic that's playing here. And they have to, they'll get there. They'll get there. What I'm seeing and sensing is they'll get there. It's going to take. Some will come around. There's a few of them. Is there 3 or 4 siblings?
6.
6 siblings. Okay. So there's going to be some are going to come around faster than others. And some are, some are not, some are going to take a little longer. Again, that's okay. That's their journey, their lesson. Don't let that residue affect you in the long run. And regarding your business, there's sometimes we're put on hold, we're held in place is a better way to put it, because what you haven't yet realized is what, and I mean, you have, but is what it took out of you to do what you did. And so what the universe will do is they'll hold you in place so that you get back up to your 100%. Because you can hear it in your voice. You're not at your 100%. You're very vibrant and bubbly and, and typically you have a very vibrant personality, yes?
Yes, yeah.
And right now your star is a little diminished. It's not on full shine.
Yeah.
It's diminished. And so the universe doesn't want you to go out with this diminished star, because that's the level and the energy and so forth that you're presenting. They want you to shine. So they want you back at 100% before everything kind of kicks in. So take this time and look to see, how can I bring joy into my life? How can I reignite that passion, that star, that joy, that vibrancy, so that you get it back up to 100%? You see what I mean? Because you spend a lot of energy caring for your mother.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So, and that's a gift, even if it was challenging and difficult and it wore you out, it's still a gift. But what you have to then realize is, okay, now how do I put me back on track? And what you're looking to do right now is you're kind of just going straight forward. Let me just keep going. But there's not enough gas in the engine. You see what I mean?
Yeah, and then, I don't know if I did self-sabotaging behavior, because I had clients and I turned them down. And still I have a chance to go get them. Should I go after them? And, or is it gone? How do you see it?
It's not gone, but you need to go after yourself first.
Okay.
You got to get back on. You've got to see yourself vibrating and resonating on this higher plateau again. It's as if you're going to move up, but you have to move up first and get into that good place, that good space, clean your energy. You got to cleanse your energy. You've got to cleanse your mind.
How should I clean my energy?
If you resonate, if you look and say, okay, you can see exactly where you are, right?
Yes.
Okay, and this is for everyone listening. So it's specific for you, but it's also this is something, when we can see the place that we're in or we're being held in or the frustrations and, we know it's off. Just stop and say, okay, acknowledge that. That's one of the first steps is acknowledge this is where I am. And then either in meditation or something, listen and say, show me the way. What is it? And they're going to speak to you. I mean, they're already saying to me, if you will sit, because see, you're still on the train. Our natural defense is to do something. It's not what I want, so I got to go do something instead of be. We're meant to be. And when we're in that be place, we're receptive, we're listening. And then all of a sudden, okay, I'm meant to. When was the last time you did something nice for yourself? You have guilt surrounding doing something nice for yourself because your siblings have told you you're not worthy, you're bad. So that makes you go out and try harder. So you're in this do mode instead of saying, wait a minute. No, I'm not, I have to rid myself of that feeling and that belief. I'm going to do something for me. That might just be walking in the park. It could be that simple. It might be a day at the spa. It might be a day of, whatever it might be that ignites you and fills you back up so that you never hold on to those beliefs again. Once you do that, then go get your clients. Because if you go try to get them right now, right this minute, you're going after them in a do mode, in a place of lack. Oh, I've got to go get you because I'm not worthy and I don't have it. And you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you take a step back and you go, okay, I've got this belief of lack and this, this dimmed light, if you will. I need to undo that. Undo it by realizing that you're in that place of lack to begin with. That changes everything. The minute you change that, then all of a sudden you're shining again. They're showing me you're this beautiful flower, this, sunshine, everything. And you're like, I love you, but you don't get to define me. I love you, siblings and everything, but this is this is me, and I'm going to express myself.
Actually, exactly the same line I told them. Like one of them that said you didn't do anything, and and you want so much, like appreciation. I said, this is your thought. This is not who I am, and you're expressing what you think about me. And I adore your feedback, and this is not who I am.
It's not who you are, and we're going to go into that more. We're gonna delve in. I'll contact you after the show, and if you're available, we'll do your private consultation right away after the show. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Perfect. Thank you for calling in. So that's a prime example of looking back at this first year. It's about what's happening in life. It's about freeing yourselves from the definitions of others. It's freeing yourself from the limitations that you hold in the lesson. I'm always saying, don't become the lesson, transcend it. Those are powerful, powerful, powerful tools. And you want to investigate them because they have a profound ripple effect. The minute you change your energy, everything around you changes. And people are always trying to define each other. That's why we have, stereotypes, right? So, but once you allow somebody to define you, you diminish your power and or you abdicate it. And you don't want to do that. You want to reclaim your power. 2015 is this expansion year, this year of reclaiming your power, your innate beauty. your innate gifts. Don't let anyone ever define you. Turn on the volume, turn it up, turn it on, and shine. Because that ripple effect, the beauty, and remember, the ripple effect works both ways. If you're being negative, if you're being harsh and judgmental, if you're being limiting and confining to others, it's already on its way back to you. That's the energy or the plateau that you're resonating on. It's already coming back to you. You're going to get it when you're in the grocery store or something and some nasty person comes at you. That's what's going to happen. But if you're operating on that place where it's just abundant and life is good, and it's not a fairy tale, it's an energy. It's about having positivity in this, I can do anything and I can face my fears. I mean, Dear James Live was born out of facing my fears of coming on the radio and speaking with each of you every week. But yet, here a year later, here I am. And so when we face our fears, we grow, we evolve, we elevate. And it's to maintain that kind of goodness within you, and that ripples out. It's, the beautiful, you toss you skip the rock across the pond and you watch the ripple go out. Where does the ripple reach? Distant other shores. So keep in mind that your energy affects not only yourself, but the entire collective whole. I want to talk about some of the amazing featured guests that I've had over the year. And it was really an honor that they were all women, and they are powerful women. They each have a distinct, brilliant, unique voice and passion. And from Deborah Wilson and Pam Villette, who were with me on Gratitude 2.0, amazing women both in their own rights of doing healing and inspiration and so forth, to Sheila Haidt, who led us on an amazing journey to Scotland that was transformative. She will be doing another journey like that this coming, I believe, September, October. And I highly recommend, if you weren't able to go this last year, to, once it comes out, to look at that as a potential for this year, because it was transformative. The gifts from that event keep on giving. They just keep coming. Stephanie Risley, in all of her amazing work in past life regressions. Chris Griscombe from the Light Institute, who truly, when you sit before Chris, you sit before a master. I said it then and I say it now, because the enormity of her gifts in multi-incarnational work, in the clearing of the parents, and looking at from the young age of children with the Nizhoni School of Higher Learning to the Light Institute in Santa Fe. It's in Galisteo, New Mexico, just outside of Santa Fe. Chris's work at the Institute is transformative. It truly sheds burdens. And when you can look at multi-incarnational happenings, instances, where you are a strand of a greater whole, and you look at your lives and you see how something that may have happened in another incarnation is playing out now. You see how to release something. You see how to transcend it. And that's the work that they're doing at the Institute. Of course, my recurring featured guest, Dr. Jan, has been a gift sent from God. There's no other way to explain it. The joy that I share in doing shows with her is priceless. She brings such a beauty and a depth of crossing platforms from Western to Eastern, and from the here and now to the ethereal. That Dr. Jan's priceless. I had the gift, of course, of having last week Anna Pereira and Sherry Elise from the Wellness Universe. And these women are really, literally changing the face of wellness. They are creating a community, a community of collaboration and creative purpose instead of competition. And it's all based on wellness. And so by all means, please, if you haven't already investigated it, look at thewellnessuniverse.com and see what's happening there and find wellness that resonates with you. There are over close to 700 listings now, vetted pages of people that are practitioners actually involved in wellness. And so I always say it's like a piece of art. Not every piece of art is for each person. So find the piece of wellness within the wellness universe that resonates with you. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my amazing, amazing, amazing producer, Barb, who comes on the show from time to time and speaks her truth in such a brilliant and elegant way that all of you are able to gain insight from her honesty and her purity. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with her every single week. I come and do this show, and she's an inspiration. So I looked at these women, and it reminds me that 2016 and beyond, we're in the transition. It's going to be about the empowerment and the rebalancing of male, feminine, the masculine, feminine energies, and how women will take a greater role in the world. How that feminine energy will be rising up to be rebalanced, which will bring about a greater sense of harmony and love. So watch throughout the world for the empowerment of brilliant women. And for all of the women, remember, this is innate in you. You have this power, you have this goodness, you have this peace, this bounty, this abundance. We all have it. But as you come up and rise up into power and you empower yourselves, do it with grace and empathy and compassion, because that's really what we're lacking, if you will, in the world. And it's certainly what's going to be on tap for 2016 and beyond. It's this beautiful radiance that's going to emanate collectively, and we will all be far richer for this change, for this truly epic change that's coming. And last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't use my favorite word in this year of reflection: surrender. It's a brilliant word. It's one we all need to get comfortable with, because when we're raw and vulnerable and we surrender, beautiful, epic change comes about. We need only surrender to ourselves, to our soul. Surrender to your soul. And when you surrender to your soul, miracles, magic, moments that you never thought would exist will transpire and occur, because you're no longer thinking about it. You're no longer leading with your mind. You're leading with your soul. That's what's on tap. That's a review, a look back, a reflection of the past year. And just, again, a thank you to every single one of you that has listened over the year, that has called in over the year. My profound thanks and gratitude for your patronage and for your listening and for the value of your time. I thank you so much for that. You've been listening to Dear James Live. Express yourself, tell it like it is, and then hear what Dear James has to say. And as I always close with, no matter where you are or whom you're with or what you're doing, wrap yourself in goodness.
You've been listening to Dear James Live on the radio with your host, Dear James. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting DearJames.com.